Next one, can you write function inside function? Obviously we can write function inside function. There are two types of function: Oracle inbuilt function, user defined function. Inbuilt function like max, mean, sum, average, they all are inbuilt function. We can write inside function, there is not an issue. This question is good, and this question is also related with PL SQL. What is type of partition? Okay, you know the partition. Partition means dividing data depend on history, range, list, etc. Okay, so we will see what is type of partition: single label partition, range partition, hash partition, list partition. Okay, so basically partition divided into two parts: single label partition and composite partition. In single label partition we have range partition, hash partition, list partition. In composite partition we have composite range partition, composite range hash partition, composite range list partition. Okay, so this read in a very carefully. This is just theoretical question. They just want to know how many types of partition, that's it. And this is basically used in a big report, a huge report, like a very big Bank of America. They want to generate some big report. Okay, for income tax, how many people paid income tax, how what is the percentage. At that time we need the partition thing. It is very huge kind of data. For huge kind of data, for that query you can say which query is running for 6 hours, 7 hours, or 24 hours, 12 hours. For that kind of query we need partition. Okay, what is bitmap and B-tree index? But before that we should know where to use bitmap and B-tree index. See, bitmap index, if there are less distinct value, then we can use bitmap index like gender, column, status, column yes or no. For example, gender, only two gender, male or female. Status column, married, unmarried, divorces. There we can use bitmap index. Okay, B-tree index, if more distinct value, then we will use B-tree index like roll number, ID, PAN card number, passport number. Every person has their own passport number, every person has their own PAN card number, every student has their roll number ID. At that time we will use B-tree index. And bitmap index, if there are less distinct value, then we will use bitmap index like gender column, status column yes or no. Okay, so can be repeated where to use bitmap and B-tree index. Bitmap index, if there are less distinct value, then we will use bitmap index like gender, column, status yes or no. B-tree index, if more distinct value, then we will use B-tree index like roll number, ID, PAN card, passport. Okay, what are the different type of indexes? Okay, bitmap index, binary tree index, function based index, local index, and global index. Okay, why we create index? Because if we are not creating, if we will not create index, then query will take more time for small set of data. Index give it proper way, okay, how to retrieve data from database, what way you have to use, okay, because Oracle has its own optimizer, okay. So index give way to that optimizer, which path you have to use to retrieve the data. That's why we are using index, okay. So for that we should know what different type of indexes, what use of that indexes. So first type of index, bitmap index, binary tree index, function based index, local index, and global index. What are different types of parameter in procedure? Parameter in procedure means, understood, when we are creating a procedure like create or replace procedure, procedure name, in bracket, in what will be the input value, output what will be the my result, in output I mean one variable which will act as input also, and which will be act as output also, okay. That's all called, we call this parameter. So this question is very small, but it is very tricky, because we are creating number of times a procedure package function, but we are not aware of that parameter, okay. So what is different type of parameter in procedure? In parameter, out parameter, and in out in in out parameter. Remember these things, okay. And we can create parameters with procedure also and function also, okay. So function also has same kind of parameter, in parameter, out parameter, in out parameter, okay. So what are the different type of parameter in procedure? In parameter, out parameter, and in out parameter.